Okay, welcome back. We are finally playing Clue Land, a game I've been meaning to do for a long time now. I purchased this cartridge about a year ago and just never got around to it. I was doing the Black Box series of games, and this is one that I was really looking forward to. One of the more, uh, one of the less affordable, I think is the best way to say it, Black Box games. Obviously, Stack Up and Donkey Kong Jr. Math are the expensive ones because they're rare. But Clue Land, as of right now in 2025, will fetch a copy maybe like 50, 60 bucks, somewhere in that range. So it's not cheap, but it's worth it. This, in my opinion, is one of the best of the Black Box games. And as you can see, it's a maze chase type of game that uses some interesting mechanics. You're constantly moving and you have to swing on those poles to dictate which direction you move in. There's a couple of enemies. You have to uncover those Legend of Zelda rupees to make out a picture, and the level ends only after you've uncovered all the rupees. I'm sure there's another name for them in the instruction booklet, but if you've you no one's going to look at the Legend of Zelda and say, "Oh, I'm getting those things from Clue Land." It's the other way around. So, but this is a great game. I popped it in last night so that I wouldn't be coming in cold, and I had a really good time with it. It's definitely an addictive score chaser, and it makes me think of I mean, obviously because it's a maze chase style of score chaser, the first thoughts that are going to come into your mind are Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, and I always think of, so the best way to evaluate the black box games, whether it's the score chasers or the sports titles, is to just pretend that there are no other games on the NES. Pretend it's 1985 and, you know, Super Mario Brothers 2 and 3, the Castlevania games, the Double Dragon games, the Ninja Gaiden games, the Dragon Warrior games. They don't exist. There's there's no Mega Man 2 or 3 or whatever. No Ninja Turtles. All we have are the black box games. Because for so many of us, we missed out on that era of the Nintendo Entertainment System. By the time we got the NES, we had all those other great games. Very few consumers in North America got the Nintendo Entertainment System when only the Black Box series was around. But if you did, then this would have been one of the better games to have, easily. There's a lot of fun to be had. It's two-player co-op. Uh, a great game to just sit in. You want to get in a quick game and try and get a better score. This is one of the better ones to do it with on the Nintendo Entertainment System. So I really like this one. You think like that they had the platform style score chaser game. As far as the black box is concerned, you had Mario Bros, Popeye, Donkey Kong Jr., Ice Climbers, all those really great platforming video games. We also had Balloon Fight, which is basically Joust. Another great game to score chase. We also had Donkey Kong 3, which is basically Galaga. It's like a space shooter style, very cleverly disguised, and it's a lot of fun. It might be my favorite. I think Donkey Kong 3 might be my favorite black box video game. But then you have Clue Land, which was seeking to be sort of the Nintendo's answer to the dominant score maze chasing score chaser games, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man. And as you can see, it's a little bit more complicated than Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man, but it is a lot of fun. The mechanics are a little off, the control takes some getting used to, but this one is really worth playing. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to try and get 20,000 points. And, when I play a game like Clue Land, it makes me miss Mike and Bootsy, actually. If you remember the Cinemassacre series, Mike and Bootsy, where they would play score chase games. Mike and Bootsy played some of the really fun black box games. They did play games like Donkey Kong Jr. and Donkey Kong 3. This would have been a really fun game for them to have played. I would have enjoyed seeing their interactions. It also makes me think that, so I always, maybe it's my own personal video game philosophy, but there's a couple of different ways to look at playing the way we played games in the 80s and 90s. You know, there was, you know, I think of playing a game like A Link to the Past, or if you want to go further back, the original Legend of Zelda, or Castlevania 2. You know, a cryptic adventure-style game where, you know, you're maybe like passing the controller, or you have a friend that's helping you kind of like navigate. You know, try the item here, try the item there, trying to figure out the puzzling, cryptic aspects of the game. Oh, whoops. Another way to play a game would have been to, you know, a game that's two-player co-op, like Double Dragon 2, Turtles in Time. But one of my favorite two-player experiences would have been, you know, each one takes a turn on a game like Donkey Kong 3 or Clu Clu Land. You know, you pass the controller, each one's trying to, you know, get the higher score. It's just kind of sad that I always think that by the time the NES came around, you know, score chasing just wasn't as popular anymore. Just missed it. And I apologize, if you're someone that's really good at this game, I'm sure it's painful watching me play. Not sure where the last piece is. Is it over here? There it is. What was that supposed to even be, a submarine? Oh, I don't think I'm gonna get over 20,000. My goal was to get over 20,000 on this. Oh, okay, I will get 20,000. For me, that's one of the most beautiful phrases of the English language. New high score. Alright, so that's Clue Clue Land in a nutshell. Very fun, very addictive. I did get over 20,000 points. Would have liked to have gotten more. This is a game that I'm going to have to play a bit more, but it's fun. Uh, if Mike and Bootsy had played this, I'm sure they would have loved it. Bootsy probably would have destroyed it. Uh, but highly, highly recommend. Certainly one of the more underrated games. Whenever the black box games get talked about, it's always the same ones over and over. It's golf, pro wrestling. Um, I mean, I guess that's about it. Super Mario Brothers, maybe Mario Bros, Duck Hunt. But how often do you hear Clue Clue Land talked about? Not very often, and it's a shame. This one deserves quite a bit more recognition, so I highly recommend this game. We'll come back and we'll definitely do some score chasing on it in the future. I was thinking about maybe trying to get a 1,000,000 point game in a balloon fight. I was goofing off not too long ago and was able to rack up like 700,000 points. So 1,000,000 points is definitely doable for me in that game. It was something to shoot for and maybe put on the channel someday. But anyway, Clue Clue Land, love it. We'll see you again real soon. I got Slalom coming in the mail in a few weeks, so that one should be fun too. All right. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon.